Hello there and welcome to Sister on City TV and of course City FM. It's another week and I'm totally thrilled to come your way once again on your favorite station. Whew. My name is Jessica. For the next approximately 60 minutes, we're going to be talking about relationships. As always, people always have one thing going on or another. And on this show, we, maybe should I say, pretend to be a sounding board, or we are more like a sounding board. You know, just tell us what your relationship problems are and we will offer our 2 cents. The final decision, of course, is up to you. A special thank you to Vodafone for bringing us another exciting edition of the show, and to Good Day Energy Drink. My name is Jessica. Once again, we'll go for a quick break. When we return, I'll let you know who's joining me on the show today, plus we jump right in to our messages for the evening, so don't go anywhere. You're welcome back, Sister on City TV and City FM. Okay, so today on the show, I'm hosting 3 of my sisters, as always. Olivia is sitting right next to me in studio, looking absolutely stunning. What's going on, girlfriend? How you doing?
I'm good,
How's your week been?
Hectic, very busy, but I'm good, thank you. Just a bit tired, but well, thank you.
Good to see you, though. You look lovely.
You too, thank
really,
you. So
really
do
nice.
you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Also, we have Rosina and Sabi joining us from South Africa on Zoom. Ladies.
Hi.
What's going on? I miss you guys. I wish I could give you a virtual hug. Well, I probably should give you a virtual hug. You know, that's all I can do. Group hug, everybody. Group hug. Can we try this? Rosina, how have you been, and how are you feeling?
I've been great.
now?
I've been
I know
great.
you were a little under
I'm
the
feeling
weather.
good. I'm feeling good, and I'm looking good.
I still hate you right now. Once I was up with your weight, I lose it. It's not fair.
You're right.
You know? Savvy, good to see you. What's going on in SA?
Nothing much. A lot of rain, but otherwise same old, same old.
Same old, same old. Well, we're alive, and I guess that's a good thing, right?
Always.
Yeah, always a good thing. Okay, well, we'll jump right into our messages for the show today, because there are people who are waiting, and we don't want to keep our viewers and listeners waiting, do we? Worried K sends his message first. Says, Jess, I need advice from you and your sisters because my wife is driving me crazy. I live in the UK with my wife, who's a nurse. We got married in June 2020 and are planning to have our first child. I love children so much that I can't wait to be a father. My wife has made me believe she shares the same sentiments, but I'm beginning to doubt that. Jess, can you believe that I've never had sex with my wife when she's in her fertile window? She suddenly becomes disinterested in sex when she's ovulating and only gives me sex when there's no chance of her conceiving. I buy her ovulation test kits at her request. She does the test when she thinks she's about to ovulate, tells me about it, but will refuse to let us use that window of opportunity. I've complained 1,000 times, and all she tells me is that she experiences spots of blood just before or during her ovulation, so she wouldn't want to have sex because it will be messy. I find that excuse crappy because I've done my research about that extensively and it's completely normal. I've paid money to consult with specialists in the reproductive health of women, and they all say it is normal. I've shown the reports to my wife, but nothing has changed. I'm beginning to lose interest in making love to her because what's the point when all I get from it is pleasure? Please advise because I'm really frustrated, and that's coming in from Worried K. Olivia, you know I'm coming to you, right? Let's go.
So, my guy, you can't give up. You can't give up. I know it's tough. I know it's hard, but you can't give up. You need to take it one day at a time. I love the fact that you did say that, you still find making love to her pleasurable. It's different if you don't find it pleasurable. The only thing is that you want it to end up being, something tangible, which is the ultimate of consummating every marriage, which is to have children. And she doesn't want to have children. The question is, so have you guys, she gave you the assumption that she's cool when it comes to having children, but now when push has come, exactly, now she doesn't want to have it. But I think that you need to do it again. Have a sit down with her and ask her, okay, how else does she plan on you guys having babies? Because if she doesn't want to have babies the right way because she's going to be bleeding, then Charlie, I think that she's being very insensitive towards your needs. And this is what I think you can do. Just after your wife has her period, and between that time and the time that she actually ovulates, right after she has her period, you can actually have sex with her, and you can still have a bit of the sperm lingering around, and she could still get pregnant. I don't know if you've actually thought about that, but that's something to look at. Just after she has a period, don't go into the whole conversation, we have to wait till the D-Day when you're ovulating to have sex, because right now she's coming up with all sorts of excuses not to be intimate with you. So just have sex as normal. Have sex, right after she has a period. Let her be consistent over and over and over again. And then, you never know. It doesn't necessarily have to be on that particular day. That's the first choice. The second thing I think you can actually do will be to, have a chat with her parents. Have a chat with mom. I hate this, but if push comes to shove and there's nothing else on this planet you could do, have a chat with her mom. Depending on your relationship with her, have a chat with her mom and tell her mom that, Charlie, this is where you are at. You really want to have kids. You're so sure that she wants to see her grandkids, but the wife says no. So you have no idea as to what to do in order for them to have their grandchildren. So this is the situation. If they can chip in to help, why not? And then, take it from there. But I don't think you should give up. I don't think it's a lost case. I think that you can take it one day at a time. Don't let the conversation be heavily centered on the day of ovulation. You can have sex before, right after ovulation, and hope for the best. You know that half the time, yes, it's good to have sex on the day of ovulation, but you can also have, there's the app I use all the time. It's called the Period app. You can check it out. You don't necessarily always get pregnant. Well, it's a good opportunity to get pregnant on the day of ovulation, but there are other options. There are low chances of pregnancy, which doesn't necessarily mean that she won't get pregnant. So she can get pregnant, like I was telling you, right after her period. You can still have some semen flowing in there. That could actually get her pregnant. Right. So there are other options to look at, but don't give up. Taking one day at a time. Get somebody who can actually talk to her to make her see that, Charlie, you actually want to have babies, because how else are you going to have babies? Without that, forget it.
All right, Sabi, weigh in for me. I mean, what are your thoughts on this whole thing going on?
I'm sorry. I'm the other side of Liv. I'm the other side. I feel like we've forgotten something very important here. And one of the things is, what does she want? Okay. He says she's a nurse. I'm assuming that if she's making all these excuses, one, she either doesn't want children, or two, she's not ready. Right? Did he say how long they were married for? I can't remember that.
Yeah, 2020.
No. They got married in 2020. So it's been a couple of months.
1 year. They've been married for
Since
1
June,
year. Yeah. This person has her own ambitions in life. This person is her own person. I'm feeling, just my gut, is that she's trying to avoid it and hoping that he's going to stop asking. I'm also very bothered by his comment of sex. What's the point of having sex if it's just enjoyable? Excuse me, my guy. I'm almost touched by that statement, because sex is not just to procreate. Number 3, who's going to look after that child when that child is born? Are you expecting your wife to give up her job? What does that look like? Are you willing to wake up? Are you willing to change nappies? Are you willing to raise the child together with your wife? Or is your mind just on, I want a baby? This is what I'm thinking, this is my age, this is what I think life should be, and that's it. So I'm not sure because I don't know what conversations that they've had. But for me, I would say there needs to be a compromise in place here. They need to walk through it together, and they need to talk about what she wants versus also what he wants. And he also needs to realize that not now doesn't necessarily mean not ever. Do you know what I mean? And there needs to be a difficult question asked here. If it comes to a point where she says, listen, actually, I don't want children. Is he willing to give up his relationships for kids? Is he willing to give up his dream of his marriage if he decides that he wants kids and meets someone else? I feel there's still so many questions and compromise and conversations that need to happen before he just makes up his mind and he goes, I don't want to make love to my wife because she doesn't want to give me kids. There's a reason behind the behavior. She's a woman and she's also a nurse. So the excuse that he's saying he's given, I feel like it's an excuse that she's given him, hoping that he doesn't know any better. Either because she doesn't want to deal with it right now, right? Or she doesn't want to have kids. I don't know what the conversation was before they got married in regards to what their life looks like. Well, but there's a gap in place.
Yeah. She did say that, he did say that she made him feel like they were on the same page, you know? She said, shared the same sentiments were his words.
They need to go back to the drawing board, but there's an issue here.
Cool.
So
all right.
I definitely feel like she doesn't want kids now. I don't know if never, but right now, she doesn't want kids.
Yeah, that's quite obvious to me. Rosina, what do you think?
I so completely disagree with Olivia. It's not funny. Look, I kept shaking my head. I was cringing, and there's no way you can get pregnant right after your period. There's no way sperm can linger on to ovulation. There's a period. For some people, it's 12 to 14 days. If you're very fertile, you can have people from 8 days to like 14 days. It varies. But immediately after sex, let's not, sell that so that maybe people will think that right after a period, when you sleep with someone, the person will have sex. That's one. Number two, Charlie, you see, yeah, sorry. Number two, you see, why did they get married to begin with? You see, marriage, like she said, it's not all about having children. You see, it's a whole lot. There's a whole lot to marriage than just having children. And number two, having children is not even a given. She could actually have sex during ovulation and actually still not get pregnant. There are so many dynamics. But then, when you get married, June 2020, we're in February 2021. And I'm thinking that, okay, fine. Then if that's the case, then it's possible that they've been married for probably just about 6 plus 2, 8 months. So for the past 8 months, all you keep talking about is ovulation, let's have sex, ovulation, let's have sex, ovulation. Look, you're gonna get on my nerves. Then for me, I start asking myself, is it only because of childbearing? Yes, I like children. You also love children. But let's do it naturally. Let's take our time. If I have a problem around ovulation, let's try and sit together and sort the issue out. But not when you go and say that, oh, I've gone and seen certain people, they give me tests, they said it's normal. If somebody is not comfortable with having sex when they are spotting blood, it's a psychological issue. It's not a normal issue. So if somebody else says it's normal, it doesn't make it normal for the other lady. You need to walk through the process with her. It's just 8 months and you're already fed up. That means that the whole essence of the marriage was to have kids, period. Number two, have you thought of the aftermath of having kids? Who's going to take care of the kids? Whose life is going to be on hold and all of that? You haven't thought of that. So that's what I think. Give yourselves a break. You guys have just gotten married. Maybe just enjoy the marriage. When your wife feels that you are supportive of her, most likely she's going to allow herself to have that intimacy with you, even during ovulation, because then she'll feel like, oh, let me do this for my husband. But if you're on my case, you are calculating it's ovulation, let's do it. It's ovulation. You're 8 months into marriage. Hey, then what if she does ovulation 1? It doesn't happen. Ovulation 2, she doesn't have. Then you are somebody, I think, who declare your wife immediately as barren. Meanwhile, psychologically, she's not ready. And the mind plays a big role when it comes to getting pregnant also, because there are people who have nothing wrong with them, but because they are overly anxious, it just doesn't happen. Now, check this. What if you had a problem satisfying her? Or you had an erectile dysfunction or something? and she kept going on and on. Me, my sex, I like it rough, I like it hard, me, I like it this, how would you feel as a man? So I think that, look, marriage is more than having kids. Marriage is more than, like, there's so much that goes into marriage. So I hope you married her for the right reasons, and take your time with her. Talk to her nicely. Let her know that you love her and you want her. If she needs time, you give her time to come to it. But in that process of giving her time, at least you are lucky that the sex she gives you, you enjoy it. You see, you enjoy it. So it's not a matter about her not wanting to be with you. It's just her gradually getting over the stumbling blocks that she has. As for talking to the mother, please, you are not married to her mother. You are married to her. You are married to her. You see, certain issues, saying you don't take it too much outside of from 8 months. If 8 months you're already complaining to your mother about your wife not having sex with you at ovulation, can you imagine? Me as your mother-in-law, I'll be worried. Hey, Aden, you understand? So I think that take your time with her and show her love in spite of. And as women as we are, once the emotions are right, once she can give you enjoyable sex, it means that the emotions are still there. There may be some underlying issues, but she can't tell you because you're overly anxious. So take your time with her, relax with her. And who knows, she may actually give in during ovulation, and you guys, both of you may be happy. But Charlie, it is not rock. It's not Charlie. Giving birth is it's not being so. So please, before
Yeah.
Anyway, Charlie.
Okay. So I hear what you ladies say. However, I think I'll just jump to Olivia's defense slightly on the matter of not being able to get pregnant right after sex. I think it varies from woman to woman. There are some women who don't do the 28-day cycle. It's really short. Their cycles come 23 days, sometimes even 22.
25.
Yeah, and 25. So with such women, it is possible to get pregnant right after your period. So I just say that. But that being said, I think that there's... He's written to us because I get the feeling that perhaps there was some kind of agreement that was made before the marriage.
Exactly.
Maybe not explicitly, but maybe he talked about kids a lot, before they got married. And so, and the woman also was like, because she wanted perhaps to get married as well, was also like, we should totally have like a football team kind of thing. And then he's come into the marriage and he's not getting that same vibe. I feel like that's why he wrote to the show.
Exactly.
So without it making him sound like selfish and it's all about him and this whole ovulation thing, I think maybe there's something to say for him, because if your expectations have been raised so high, you can't help but feel disappointed to this extent that you'll write to a TV show or radio show, unless of course it was something that really disappointed you. I hope I'm making sense. So for me, I kind of get it when he says that he's losing interest in his wife, because maybe he places that higher premium on childbearing, and I get it. Marriage isn't just about that. And I disagree with people who make it about that, because what if you get married and you cannot have children, which is a high probability as well. What then holds you together? But if he's frustrated, I think the conversations need to be had. The woman needs to be drawn in, and let's see where things can go from here. He should be able to lay his cards clearly on the table and say, you know what, wifey, this was actually my plan. I thought we were on the same page here. What's happening? Okay, are you not ready? Do you not want to have kids now? Is there an issue? Is there a hurdle we need to jump? Maybe you want to settle in your new job properly. What's going on? Communicate with me, because this behavior does not work. And I feel like if they have that, proper conversation, this would move forward as opposed to stagnating and him feeling frustrated, or one party feeling less loved because suddenly their expectations haven't been met. So let me just put that out there. Also, let me read a couple of comments. Penny says, excuse me, call her down, lay it down to her, be firm, tell her to make up her mind. If she doesn't want kids, she should be honest so you can advise yourself. Either give her a deadline to that effect. Well, I'm not sure about a deadline, but still, I think you should let her know. Mangsford says, dialogue is the only way here. You think she shares the same sentiments, but even if you drug her and get her pregnant, she will take, and you mentioned the name of a drug. Says, my brother, you're done for. This kind of barrier, either you dig and go under it, or you get a vault like the pole vault event and jump high over the crossbar. I'm serious. Sarah says, this world, no balance. Total dishonesty from the wife. This is the reason most men will cheat to test their fertility if that is what the so-called wives are doing. So sad. I'm an ungrateful wife and she lacks character.
Oh,
okay, that's rather harsh. But yeah, Amma says, women, Asemo, you pray for a husband. When you get one too, you plan to frustrate him. Why? What is preventing her from giving birth? It's 9 months. Is it the 9 months of frustration? It's normal, my dear. Take it now or leave it. Well, there are actually women who do not want to have children.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if she's one of those women, then she should have said it.
Exactly.
She should not have tricked this guy into walking her down the aisle, knowing what he wanted. That's what I feel. Kofi says, I really can't tell if you need advice on how to overcome the situation or the reasons behind her actions. From your narrative, it's clear she's not ready to have kids. But the why should be answered by you. If you don't know your wife enough to get such answers from her in a 7-month marriage, then I pray for your 12-year anniversary. Don't go impregnate another lady all in the name of wanting a kid, because it'll come with its complications in the future. Nana says she's not ready to have a baby now. She was happy about the idea initially, but something ticked her off along the way. Remember, it's her body. She bears the child, the pain, the hormonal changes involved, and her work life will come to a standstill. Marilyn says, it might be she's not ready to have a baby yet, or there's a problem somewhere. I suggest you talk to your wife and see a counselor. And finally, Agnes says, very odd behavior. You two need to be talking more, as there could be something putting her off about having a child with you. Alternatively, could she be barren and aware she can't have children, so using a different ploy to send the message across? Does she want the marriage and want to remain with you? Is she planning to check out? Obviously, there's a reason for her actions, but your best bet is to forget about children entirely. Don't discuss it anymore. When she gives you sex, fine. If you don't get it, so be it. I'm not happy at all about the restrictions, etc. It can be too limiting for both of you, so she should rather do family planning. Consider seeing a therapist jointly if she would love to attend. Good luck. And those are some of your comments at Sister on City TV and City FM. Your comments are also welcome, dear viewers. 054-998-6996. We'd love to hear what's on your mind. We'll be right back.
City TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. City TV, it's your world.
Welcome back to Sister on City TV and City FM. Our WhatsApp number 054-998-6996. You can send an email as well to Jessica at cityfmonline.com. Find us on Facebook at Sister Live, Sister Live. Like our page. Join in the conversations. They're really exciting on our wall. We'll move into our next message here. It says, hi sisters, I married my wife 7 years ago and found out in November last year that she cheated on me with an older man. I've been hurt ever since, but I've been trying hard to forgive her because of our kids. Anytime she gets close to me, I become brokenhearted all over again. How do I forgive her and forget what happened? I've prayed about it on several occasions, but the pain still remains. She thinks I've moved on, but that's not the case at all. I need help. What do you ladies think I can do? Okay. Sabby, would you want to take this first?
Okay?
Okay.
Hey, my brother, you need more than prayer here. I'm sorry. You need to be awake for your life. Okay? You're clearly shaken, you're clearly devastated, and you're clearly broken. But the first mistake you've made is going down this journey alone. I'm very concerned about the fact that you're saying that your wife thinks you're over it. That's a very dangerous place to be, because it's almost like you guys are living two different realities. There's certain phases, I think, that you need to go through. The same as if a loved one passes on. You know, there are phases that you have to go on before you heal. And I think, you know, I'd say the first one is acceptance. I don't feel like you've accepted that this has happened to you. You have to say with your lips, my wife cheated on me. It needs to be real, because that's exactly what happened. You have to grieve. And one of the things I would say you're grieving is the life that you thought you had, number one, and who you thought she was. Because all of that has changed. It's almost like there now needs to be a rebuilding. Not almost, there has to be a rebuilding. Right? So after you've grieved, you have to heal. You have to give yourself enough time to go through the process that is needed in order to get through this. Not over it, through it. I would then say that you have to revitalize your relationship, and that would need your wife. That's why I'm saying I don't agree with the fact that she thinks that everything's okay, because everything is not okay. There's trust here that needs to be rebuilt. Trust is lost, trust is gone. And I can think, if I think about it in my mind now, you probably don't even trust when she's gone, when she steps out of the house. You probably don't even trust what she says to you. And that's a really, really big problem. I think you have to ask yourself, you know, a few questions. Has she taken the steps to fix the breach of trust? Do you feel that she's changed her ways so that this won't happen again? And do you also feel like, I'm a bit concerned that maybe there's no working towards fixing what has been broken, if because of the words you used when you said she thinks that you've moved on. And in order for the trust to come back, you guys have to, you know, work together. You have to be able to let go at some point of everything that has happened and rebuild. And for me, in order to rebuild, it's going to take both of you. You need to talk about how this occurred, why it occurred, what she needs, and also what you need moving forward if this is something that you want to work on. I think he really has to ask himself, does he want to fight for this? Does he want to work for this? But realize that it's going to be one of the hardest things he ever does.
Rosina, do you hold a different opinion, or you can relate?
Yeah. I'm saying that cheating is very difficult to deal with. Even when a man cheats on a woman, or especially like your husband cheats on a wife, it's very difficult. How much more when a woman cheats on a man? It's very difficult. They need to address the situation, okay? Because I think that I think Stabi has said a bit, and I'm sure Olivia will spend like 10 minutes addressing this. But what I would say is that to say that maybe the wife has accepted it, or the wife thinks that he's going over it, means that the children mean so much to him that he found out, he was like, it's okay, I've forgiven you. You do that again, right? Okay, that's fine. But you see, one thing about healing is that you need to talk. You need to talk. If you have to argue it out, you need to argue it out. You need to ask questions. And then the other party should be prepared to answer the same questions 1,000,000 times to make sure that you really understand the thought process. Because you see, when somebody cheats, there's one part of you that's blaming the person. How can he cheat on me? How can he cheat on me? There's another part that's also asking yourself, what did I do? Was it my fault? Is this something I should have done that I didn't do? So there are so many unasked questions in the head. So I think that one thing he should do is to let the wife know that he hasn't really dealt with it. And he's not okay, but he wants to be okay with it. And the fact that he says, I've prayed about it, I'm thinking that he's a spiritual person. So he's not just going to up and leave his wife and children because the woman has cheated, but he probably just needs to be okay. So my recommendation is that, look, if the kids are too young, maybe go drop them off with your mom or with her mom or somebody, or a cat, like, somebody that you really trust. And then you guys should just take off for like a week vacation. And both of you should know that you're taking this vacation to go and discuss issues and make your marriage better. And that vacation doesn't have to be outside of town. I mean, there are so many places, if it's in Ghana, there are so many places in Ghana you could visit. Just get a nice place, very serene, very quiet. The two of you can scream at each other if you have to, discuss, ask the questions get answered. You guys get into moments of intimacy. And maybe when you come back, it doesn't mean that everything will be sorted out, but at least it would begin that process so that both of you can really be on the same page. Because as of now, both of you are not on the same page, but both of you think you're on the same page. But when you go through this process, then both of you really know exactly where you are at. And then if that doesn't work, you probably need to see a professional psychologist who will take you through, or psychotherapist, depending upon how much the damage is, who will take you through the whole process, then you can get better. But I really admire you for not taking off, for not sucking the lady, because I don't think it's a very easy place to be in. And for married couples, I think that, why do you want to cheat? Really, why? Because most often than not, after you cheat, there's a lot of regret after that. So why do you want to take yourself through that process? Like I keep saying, if the marriage is stale or you don't want it, the best thing to do is to actually exit. And when you exit, you can have 10 people lined up. It doesn't really matter. But really, let's try and respect the vows that we say to each other. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
All right, let's bring it in studio. Libby?
This guy is a good guy. He's got a good heart, and the fact that he did say he's been praying about it is really sweet of him. I'm going to take it from a spiritual point of view, because he seems to me as a Christian. He's a Christian. So you know the text in the Bible that talks about, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And there's also another passage in the Bible, another text in the Bible that talks about the sin of unforgiveness. Every day, God's mercies are new every morning. And as much as it's tough, as much as it's difficult, you've still kept yourself in that situation whereby you're forcing yourself to forgive her. The thing is, you shouldn't be hard on yourself, and forgiveness doesn't come overnight. You should give yourself time to heal. You should give yourself time to process what your wife did to you. Like Savi said, you need to tell yourself that your wife cheated on you. You need to accept it. You need to be able to move on past that. And I think the main reason why you reached out to us is you've prayed about it. So how else do you move on? See a therapist. The sisters have said it. Savi has said it. Rosie has said it. See a counselor. See somebody who can help you go through the forgiving process. But like I said to you, if you sin every day, everybody is open to sinning. It doesn't justify it, but he who is without sin should cast the first stone. And the question is, has your wife given you any other reason to doubt her after she cheated on you? And the thing is, I feel like you still want to make the marriage work, but you don't know how. So take it one day at a time, accept what she's done, try to forgive her, and know that to err is human. And have that conversation with her. I also don't think that it's good that she thinks that you've forgiven her when you've actually not forgiven her. And I think that's all part of the healing process. Have a sit down with her. Okay, have a sit down with her and let her know that, sweetheart, as much as I did tell you that I've forgiven you, it's still in my heart and it's worrying me so much. And as married couples, I find that it usually helps for both of you to talk about these issues and pray on it together. You've been praying on it alone and it's in your heart and you haven't let it go. And she doesn't know. And you're probably making love to her and you're probably thinking what the older man did to her. You have things in your heart, and until you let go, you can't forgive her. And she doesn't know, and that is not helping. So I think let her know exactly how you feel. Open up. This is not time to be mature about it. It's not time to come across as, oh yeah, forgiving you, and then stop. But you haven't. Let her know how you feel. Let her know you're hurting. Let her know you've not been able to go past it. Let her know that you've had sleepless nights because of what she's done. You need to be real about how you feel to her. And then she can appreciate where you're coming from, because as far as she's concerned, everything is okay. And it doesn't help you heal any faster. It doesn't help you forgive her any quicker. So let her know. Once she knows, even her attitude towards you will be more accommodating, more empathetic. Because when she's doing stuff, she'll be like, babe, me pacho, I will do whatever it is I need to do, but me pacho de facheme. So that she knows that you haven't gotten over it, so that she constantly, it means that she has to apologize to you every day or meet you halfway. If she doesn't know where you're at, sweetheart, it's going to be difficult. So you owe it to yourself and you owe it to her to let her know, so she can help you, and you can both pray on it together as a couple who wants the marriage to work. And then you can take it from there. And it's one day at a time. Don't expect that you forget it. You can't forget it over. How many men forget about a cheating wife? It's not easy. So I think you need to be easy on yourself. I think that you need to be open. And then I also think that you need to create more opportunities for you to bond on a genuine note. I feel like it's all been fake so far, and it's not helping the process. You need to be real. You need to take it one day at a time and keep praying on it. I'm sure it will work out.
All right, let me throw this back to you, ladies, because I tend to hear these two words go together a lot. This whole thing about forgive and forget. Is it even a thing? Is it realistic, and must you? Because a lot of people would say, if you don't if you truly forgive, it means that you've forgotten. But I tend to disagree with that.
You don't. You can't forget.
There's no such thing as forgetting. You'll never forget. And I think, aside from it being about forgiving, it's a decision you're making to move forward besides us, even though this has happened, right? And I find that you do it more for yourself than for the other person. Sometimes think about when you've been in the most pain of your life and you want someone to put you under so you can sleep and only wake up when something, when it's over. For me, you'll never forget, but it's a conscious decision you make that you're going to move forward in spite of what has occurred. Right. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I hold the same view.
And I think the mind, I'm also the same. The mind is designed never to forget anything, honestly, unless of course you want to forget. The only memory that can forget is actually a hard drive or something. That's when you actually delete it. But for the mind, it doesn't forget. But it's a choice you make. And it's a choice you make because, one, you want it to be cool on yourself. So you want to, you don't want to carry that burden anymore. So you forgive. And secondly, you try and want to understand where the other party is coming from. So you forgive. Or you really want this to work. You forgive. Or you look at the other side, as in the more qualities that the person has, or the more that the person can bring to the table, the sacrifices, and you actually want to accept that this is an honest mistake. So you forgive. So forgiveness is actually a choice you make, so that you don't remind the person every day that this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing. However, the forgetting the lie. And then the lady also needs to constantly prove to the guy that she is trustworthy. So forgiveness goes both ways. So I have forgiven you, and you also need to do your part by making me feel like I can trust you again. So what it means is that no disappearing acts, nothing like you get up in the morning, where are you? Oh, I just felt like going here, and I went, no. You step out, you need to let your husband know this is where I'm going, and that's the price you pay for doing what you did.
Jess, do you know there are actually therapists now around the world who use movies to help people?
Movies?
Yeah, okay. They use movies, they use cartoon characters, and you have therapists, professional therapists, sit down and analyze a movie, and they talk people through what the movie said and how therapeutic it is. So, for example, I saw one recently about a cartoon where there was a therapist sitting in, and then somebody who was waiting to get some advice from the therapist, and it spoke about grief and how the different stages of grief. So now movies are used in one way or the other as a platform to help people solve a lot of problems. So that's something he could also look at. He can go on YouTube. Now you find everything online these days. Find out some more information that can help you. There are therapists online. There are people who've gone through things, people who've gone through forgiveness and phases. So he can read a lot more about what to do as an individual to make his journey a lot more easier. And he can research, Google videos, movies, things that he can watch to help him go through the forgiveness process as well.
Okay, well, we will move on to our next message. It's Sister on City TV and City FM, and we'll do that right after this break. Don't forget the show is brought to you by Vodafone and by Good Day Energy Drink.
About to change your Sunday night for the better.
The reality is, after school in Ghana,
You're on your own.
you're on your own. Where are you going? The job that you are getting, you can't afford your transportation. You have to pick your trotro.
Rent.
No matter how rich you
You
are,
have to go to the salon.
Yes.
you have to go to the salon. Like, no matter how rich you are, unless your parents are buying your car, everything, right after school, life hits you hard.
Really hard.
We will bring you the most captivating guests and explore the most amazing stories.
It was petrifying, terrifying than what you people saw on camera, because I think the video was about, I can't remember, 8 or 6 minutes. The whole incident was about 2 hours. So Abronkwa was chased out of my neighborhood by my neighbors with cutlass.
They came to your house
So he mashed me outside.
naked. We will dazzle you with real life situations and examine mind-blowing topics.
To take us down to do that. So yeah. Oh,
Nice one.
oh, nah, this looks good on me, you know that? I feel like it looks good. I want it to go now.
Ezra chapter 2, verse 12. The children of Akzad, 1,222.
Join me, Frema Dunyame,
And me, Ato Kwamna, every Sunday at 7 p.m. on City TV. Are you ready?
Upside Down, every Sunday, 7 p.m. only on City TV.
Welcome back, Sister on City TV and City FM. So, message here says, hi, Jess. I've been married for the past 18 years, and I know this will sound strange, but I've never loved my wife. It all started when I used to see myself as a fine boy, so I was never serious with any lady. I later met my wife, who proposed to me, and even though I didn't love her, I accepted to marry her out of pity. We have 5 kids, but they all came out of lust. I later met a young lady, and that was the first time I've ever loved a woman. As fate would have it, she didn't love me. She told me we could only be friends. Jess, we've been friends for 6 years now, and I thought that she would eventually change her mind and accept my proposal. I basically provide her with everything she wants, including paying her rent. Her rent is about to expire, and she's asking me to pay for her again. She has started showing certain signs that she may be interested in me, but I don't trust her. I'm in a fix now. What do I do? Rosina, the way you are arranging yourself in the chair.
Halle, the guy is confused. See, the guy is confused. How can you say that you're a fine boy and yet you have to settle with a girl who came to propose to you. Means you don't be a fine boy. Because if you're a fine guy, you know what I mean? So if you're a fine boy, you have so many ladies hitting on you, or you have the opportunity to hit on so many ladies, then why do you settle for somebody who came to chase you? It doesn't make sense to me. And you say you married her out of pity, and you fine boy like that, you're able to stay in that pitiful marriage for 18 years. The marriage is an adult, can vote anywhere on the planet. That's the reality on the ground. And I'm thinking that, look, no man who doesn't love his wife enough is going to spend 18 years with a woman, pop 5 babies out of them, but you never really loved the woman and you felt you're a fine boy, you deserve better, X, Y, Z. On the contrary, see, because he's popped 5 babies from the woman, he's probably not seeing the woman as very attractive. He's probably not thinking that, oh, this woman can do some styles she used to do now, she doesn't want to do again. Maybe there may be 1 or 2 things. So he is rather lasting after this younger woman. He is rather now lasting after a younger woman because all he sees is fresh blood, young lady, the endless possibilities, what he could experience that he hasn't experienced with his wife for so long. So I think he's a confused guy. Now that young girl, the only reason why you find her so attractive is because she's not giving in to you. And you see, men are chasers. So when you are chasing a woman and the woman is doing shakara, you realize that the hunt gets more intense because you are confused. You think you're a fine guy. You have to settle for somebody who came to propose to you. And when you look in the mirror, what you see is not actually what the situation is, but you think you are so fine. So you think you can have anybody. So now you are chasing after something that you find attractive. The thing they busy you, and now you are hit. So you are intensifying that. Look, the day he manages to land this girl, you lose interest in the girl because this is pure lust. And the girl is also playing him. The rent is due, so she's probably returning calls. She's probably being nice. You pay the rent and see. We'll go back to factory settings. So my dear, you have a woman who's been faithful to you, has given you 5 children. You probably have a very beautiful family. Concentrate on rekindling the love. You see, I keep saying that, look, love is not a static thing. When you say you love somebody, it doesn't mean that every time the fire is there. Both of you, and it's not one party, both of you need to work at it daily. And love moves from stages. I mean, there are stages of the whole butterfly. You can't keep yourselves away from each other. Your tongues are probably intertwined the whole time. And then there are stages where love makes you take hard decisions, real decisions, forgive each other, do all these things. It goes through processes. And at some point, both of you need to decide that, look, listen, we've been doing this thing this way for so long. Let's put some fire and passion into our relationship. And then you can go a step further and decide to do something else out of something that both of you have never really done. But it kind of like, brings that passion back into the relationship. Or you can actually do something that you did like 10, 15 years ago. And then all the memories keep rushing back and rekindles their marriage. So most couples, what happens is that you are doing the same thing all the time, concentrating on school fees, the children, nannies coming in and going out, and all manner of things, possible cheating, then you end up losing the fire in the marriage. And you think that you don't love your wife. You wait. You leave there, another man picks her up, and you start chasing her again. That's what I think.
All right. Olivia, let me come in studio.
Okay. So love sometimes is overrated, like I always say. I want to share a quick story with you. Hopefully I'll be quick here. So I heard the story from an amazing woman. She told me about how her parents were put together. Her mom was in the village. She wanted some other village crazy rascal boy, but it didn't work out. What happened was that they asked her to marry some other guy instead.
Okay.
On the wedding day, you should see the wedding photos. This woman stood next to this man. She wasn't even smiling. She wasn't even happy. But her uncle, who advised her to marry this other guy, right, said to her, look around you in this village. How many people do you see who have the opportunity to school in London, who have had the opportunity to work in London? So basically, she was asked to marry this guy who had a good life going on, a degree, who was not extra handsome, extra charismatic or anything of that sort. But she listened. And how many years down the line, this guy, this marriage, this woman, they had 5 kids. The kids are all influential people. They made the marriage work. It wasn't based on love. It was just based on understanding, convenience, let's see, circumstances.
Right.
But she didn't go cheating on him. He didn't go cheating on her. But today, they love each other so much. You see, it didn't start rosy. It didn't start... It was convenient. But what I'm saying is that you're this guy, right? You've been able to cut this woman's beauty. However you want to look at it. 18 years. You've married her. You've lasted after her. You claim that you're fine. Like Rosie rightly said, maybe the mirror is deceiving you. You're probably not fine, because if you were fine, plenty girls would have come to you and you wouldn't have had to settle for less. My guy, you're not fine. Right now, Seth, you they bore me. Sorry. Because you are in an 18-year-old marriage, right? And you're asking us whether you should be forking out money
to some other girl
to finance your 6-year-old relationship that hasn't even been defined. My guy, take that money and take your wife, buy her some nice lingerie, take her out on holiday and treat her right. She is raising 5 children for you, for crying out loud. Charlie, put your knickers on and stop wasting money. Like, you need to grow up. There's nobody who is going to be, I don't know, in love with you right now. This girl doesn't love you. Trust me, so many girls, they didn't love you all this while. And how many years down the line, you're now Mr. Otia for another woman, and the woman doesn't even like you like that. Like, it's all in your head. You need help. You need to get up. You need to grow up, my guy. You need to grow up. You're annoying me, Carl. You are not... The girl doesn't love you. She wants your money. That's all she wants. She doesn't really want you for you or anything. She just wants your money. My guy, focus on your marriage. Make it work. Charlie, this woman has been good to you. Sometimes have a heart. Have a heart for this woman. Focus on your kids. Make it work. Spice up your relationship. You're able to get an erection and sleep with her. Why can't you make the rest work? My guy, leave something.
Savvy, you have the final word on this one.
I'm a little bit concerned about this guy's sense of reality. I think the story he's telling himself versus reality are 2 different things. There's no ways in this lifetime that a man who thinks he's all that is just going to go and marry someone for the sake of it. Not possible. Not possible. But for some reason, he's decided that is going to be his narrative. And let me start by saying that this guy struggles. He's got there's lack of self here. There's no self-introspection. And I'm sorry to say, with a sprinkle of narcissism. He has this urge to rescue. He likes to rescue. So he's told himself, out of pity, he married his wife. He's rescuing this girl again. They've known each other for 6 years. She said, let's just be friends. So there isn't even intimacy. And yet, he is still very comfortable to go after someone who is using him, where there's someone back at home who, in her mind, thinks the past 18 years have been amazing. He's got someone at home who thinks they have had the best marriage in life. And he's telling himself, oh, this woman, I just married her out of pity. Oh, the only reason I have children was because it was lust. Are you really listening to the language you're using? What does that mean, out of lust? And how is it possible that you can be in a relationship with someone for 2 decades and there's been no change? That is a problem. That's why I say there's a sprinkle of narcissism here. It's me. I married her out of pity. No, you didn't. You had a choice. You had a choice. You decided to marry her. You've built a family, but you're telling yourself in your head that this is not the family you want. How in the world are you saying you're in love with a woman who's told you that she doesn't want to be with you? That just tells me that his sense of self is skewed. And he needs to look at himself and he needs to look at his life going forward. This doesn't make sense. And for me, the story is more about him and the stuff that he has to fix. There's nothing wrong with his wife. His wife has been there. They've got 5 children. There's nothing she can change because she's not even aware of this. But the fact that he hasn't worked towards having a wonderful experience in his marriage and his family, the fact that he hasn't worked towards loving this person that he's been with for almost 2 decades is not okay. I'm sorry. And then you're telling me for the past 6 years, you've been having an emotional affair, mind you, on his own, because this woman that he has to pay the rent for is not involved in this emotional affair. So this guy lives in a fantasy world and not reality. And he's made up his own stories, and that's the truth for him. He's not looking at real life. And if he wants to be happy, I suggest that he looks within himself and decides what he wants for his life. But this is not reality. It's fun and games. I don't even have to talk about the girl with the rent who just wants to be friends. We're grown. My brother, you know the answer to that. I'm not even going to talk about that. I don't even know what you're doing. Or there's something you saw in this woman and you're telling yourself you're in love. No. I think fix yourself, sort yourself out.
Right. Totally agree. I mean, I'll piggyback on Savvy's words. Fix yourself, sort yourself out. Because it's so obvious that this other woman is, leading you on because she wants you to pay her rent. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's as bright as day. We can see that. Work on your marriage, though. 18 years, a woman dedicating her life, her body, everything to you, bringing you 5 solid kids. You can't just throw that away on a whim, right? And here's the other thing. If you really do get to that point where you feel like, I cannot do this, take a decision, but don't just string her along, because that's also really mean. Okay, so just be a man, take a decision, and stick to whatever your decision is. But dragging this so far for so long is totally unfair to your partner. She doesn't deserve that. And I think you know that already. We'll end the show here. Ladies, it's been good. Savvy, Rosina, love you ladies. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, Olivia, for joining me in studio as well. And to you, our amazing viewers and listeners every single week, totally appreciate your audience. Don't forget, you can send your questions ahead of time to jessica@cityfmonline.com. I would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like our Facebook page as well. Thank you to Vodafone. Thank you to Good Day Energy Drink for another exciting edition of the show. Have a great one. Take care of yourselves.